Excuse me, I was completely tripping on that sick intro. All these initiatives depend on well-functioning and resilient communities. My name is Jiri, and in today's episode of Paranda, I would like to share with you 3 things I learned how our community that built this very repair space and developed other super cool sustainability projects became to be a resilient community. And by resilient, I mean basically being able to go through any kind of shitstorm and coming out of it stronger than before. Principle number 1, have place together. For us, these were always community gardens. In 2016, we turned a parking lot into a flourishing urban space. This was the first one. And I remember when we were building it, I was completely obsessed by building, furniture from scrap wood we actually even didn't need. And this passion was shared by other nutheads like this, and we would meet there and just, experiment and do things. And this making things together really bonded us. And it was all thanks to the space that we could just meet there and do these crazy projects. We basically built kind of playgrounds for adults, how Ulo put it once, but not this kind of playgrounds for adults. Adults and children. But I reckon it doesn't have to be a physical space, it could have been sort of meta space. Like we could have met each other each time in someone else's yard and do the same things. Principle number 2, regularity. In spring and summer it was always easy, we had these community gardens that enable us to have regular events, and that really helped to keep the bonds and to have the vision in front of our eyes. But in wintertime, you see, since I moved to Estonia, I had it really hard to make any Estonian friends. I think my southern temperament scared them off. Anyways, but these community gardens really brought the light of hope. Like maybe I will be worthy enough one day to have my own little Estonian friend. But then when winter came, they all disappeared to their layers to hibernate, which they do, actually. Check on the Wikipedia. And so we wouldn't see each other for weeks, which would break the flow. But then in autumn 2017, we have discovered repair cafes. And so we started to organize them during the winter time, and we have been organizing them ever since. And this really helped, to build this consistency of community events throughout the whole year. Principle number 3, know each other's vulnerabilities. Working together for long enough time, you will arrive at conflicts. I believe that thanks to the conflicts, we got to know each other on much deeper level, at least with this 5 to 7 sort of this core team members. For instance, at some point last summer, I felt burned out and super exhausted. I obviously wasn't aware of it, so I was making everyone's life miserable. And then Lauri came on his white horse and with his angelic awareness called that bullshit out and asked, Easy, it seems like you are exhausted and burned out. Like in the second he called it out, I realized that he's right, but obviously I couldn't break the character, so I was like, oh, look at you, Lauri, being such a sage with your empathy and golden retriever attitude. You know what? But in the very moment he called out my unsolved issues, I felt relieved, and that helped me eventually to put my shit together and move on. So going through conflicts and mindfully recognize and label our negative tendencies, weaknesses and bullshits, it reveals that each of us is vulnerable. I just can't say it. Vulnerable. And so this communal suffering in tandem with empathy, patience and care ultimately lead to openness and trust, which are the building foundation of every well-working team. Having a place to meet where we could make things and pizzas created the strong bonds between us, and the regularity kept the vision alive, which for us was always to make this city as sustainable and vibrant as we can with our hands, and knowing each other's vulnerability. The third thing I was talking about, deepen our relationship so we could build real trust. A really cool thing about these initiatives I mentioned in the beginning is that according to many sustainability experts, they play a key role in tackling global issues. And so that makes me personally very motivated, because that means I'm relevant. Maybe. And that makes it so much more crucial that the communities that run these initiatives consist of determined, strong and resilient teams. Hopefully these three things I learned in our case will assist you when considering how to make your community or any kind of working team more resilient, so it can go through any kind of crisis like the one we are having right now and come out of it stronger than before. All my great wisdom I today shared with you is basically based on my experience with our community, but it also kind of leans on things I have discovered and researched during last 4 years. So I have included some of that stuff in the description, so you know that I'm not full of bullshit. And obviously I haven't covered everything there is to cover about well-working teams or resilient communities. So what do you think I've missed? Let us know in the comment section. And thank you for watching, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. It will make you feel so good. Trust me. Better person will you be. Fast. My good.